Hey, welcome back. And in this video I want to look at my Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games and then put it up on the shelf. So for me anyways, the initial Game Boy I was not overly impressed with, and the reason being is that I was used to the NES and having, a bit of color to my games. So when I saw the Game Boy, I wasn't overly impressed because it was just green and black and it didn't impress me at all. So I actually never had one. My very first Game Boy system is the Game Boy Advance SP, which I picked up from an EB Games for $100, and I actually still have that system today. I got it basically because I wanted to play those old Nintendo games. So I think I got it probably like 1999-ish, and I absolutely love the system now, and I got quite a few games for it. So let's go through the collection. Very first off, we'll go through some loose Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. I keep it in this little box here simply because it fits the games perfectly for me. So I don't have too many loose games. So the first one here is Battletoads. Double Dragon 3, the arcade game. Kid Icarus. Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which is actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this game. It's really short, really easy, but a lot of fun to play. Metroid 2. Sadly, I haven't even had a chance to play this one yet, but I'm looking forward to this one. Next up is Operation C. This is actually a it's a Contra game, but a lot of people don't know that just because it doesn't have the Contra name on it. It's under Operation C. So think of it kind of like Super C, where it's not under the Contra name, but it's still part of the Contra series. Very good game as well. Next up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Back from the Sewers. Everyone I think has this one, and for good reason. It's Tetris. And this, even today, is a lot of fun. I actually put this in the system, maybe once every 3 months, and I only play it for a little bit, but then I end up playing it for, a good hour and a half. Very addictive. Next up is Final Fantasy Legends, Wario Blast, and my last but not least, my last loose Game Boy Color game is The Legend of Zelda, which one is this? Oracle of Seasons. So those are the loose Game Boy Advance games, or Game Boy games. And I do have a couple loose Game Boy Advance games as well, simply because I haven't had a chance to make the boxes for them yet, so I will get to it eventually, and then I'll add it to my collection here. The very first one here is Bomberman Tournament. And last but not least, it's The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, which I actually do. I have this little case for it, but I have also the manuals for it as well. I'm just missing the box, and that's the only part I'm missing, so I'm hoping one day I'll just come across it. Alright, moving on to my, I guess, loose Game Boy Advance games that I've actually put into DS cases. Very first one here is Banjo Pilot. It's kind of like Diddy Kong Racing, think of it that way. Next up is Capcom Classics Mini Mix. This is actually my original game, Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors. I had a lot of box games, and then, as a lot of people do, you throw them away, and I did that with this game. I kept the manual and I kept the game, but I got rid of the box, so I had to make this little label here for it. Very fun fighting game though. Next up is Excite Bike. F-Zero Maximum Velocity. Final Fantasy V Advance. Next is Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Next is the initial Fire Emblem, which I found actually at a Talese, kind of hidden in a little, kind of like where the kids' games are, and like, those little like, shoot, what are they called? Shoot, the name escapes me. But you know those little kid games that you always see at these thrift stores? I found this game kind of hidden with those. Next up is Golden Sun. Ice Climber, which is another really fun NES game. Next up is Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Mad Max, which I've actually played this one too. It's very different to the PC and the PS2 version. This is more of kind of a straightforward platformer, but it's still a lot of fun to play. So if you see this, actually pick it up. This is Metal Slug Advance, another really fun Metal Slug game. Now I have a question for you because I have this boxed, complete, and sealed Pac-Man collection. But I also have it loose, so I put it in this. Should I open up that sealed version, or should I just keep this? Let me know. This game here, though, is a lot of fun. Obviously, it has a couple Pac-Man games on it. A lot of fun to play, though. It actually holds up a lot better than some of the more current games, as far as gameplay-wise goes. And it's pretty much a direct port from the arcade. Next up is Scourge Hive. And the game that I actually wanted when I picked up the Game Boy Advance SP is Super Mario Bros. 3. And I picked this up because one of my favorite NES games of all time is Super Mario Bros. 3. So when I saw it sitting on the shelf, I instantly drawn to it, and that's why I dropped $100 right away on this, and I bought the game with it. Fortunately, I got rid of the box. Next up, Super Mario Brothers. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So all these games I used to have to complete, all these like retro games, I had them all complete. Threw out all the boxes, unfortunately. I did pick this one up though when I got my Game Boy Advance SP. It's WWF. Is this WWF or WWE by now? WWE Survivor Series. It's okay. I was thinking it was going to be something very similar to WWF Royal Rumble on the Genesis. It kind of plays like that. It's not as good as that game though. Next up is Xevious. Very fun shooter. X-Men Reign of Apocalypse. Oh, I can't pronounce this one, so just take a look. What is this called? I don't know. If you can pronounce it, let me know, because I can't pronounce it. I picked it up because it was an Atlas game. And my last loose Genesis game, Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link. And I had this game obviously as well. And I just dropped a bunch of stuff. Anyways, I had this game back on the NES. I was never able to beat it. I picked this up along with a bunch of other Game Boy Advance games with my system, as I mentioned. I was finally able to beat this a couple years ago. This game is tough as hell, but a lot of fun. So anyways, let's move into my box and complete Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. I picked up a lot of these off of one guy who was just trying to get rid of them. So I just said I'll take them all, and I'm glad I did because there's a lot of really good games in here. First up is Bionic Commando Elite Force. Pocket Bomberman. Super Mario Land. This is Wario Land. Wario Land 2. DK King of Swing. And this game is actually, it's very different because you use the bumpers here to actually swing across the levels. So the right bumper controls the right hand while the left one controls the left, and you just kind of make your way around the entire level, getting past obstacles. A lot of fun, hidden gem on the system, pick it up. Initial Donkey Kong, which, classic, love this game. Donkey Kong Country 2. This one is Duel Masters. Super Mario Advance. And which one does this one have? This one has Super Mario Bros. 2 on it. Super Mario World. Super Mario Super Circuit, which a lot of fun. All these Mario games are classic. Next up is Mega Man Battle Network 4 Red Sun. I've yet to play this. I haven't heard good things about this one though, unfortunately. Metroid, another one I picked up. I got rid of the box. I was able to find the box with that lot of games I got off that one guy. Next up is Metroid Fusion. Namco Museum. And last but not least, Shinobi, which I've yet to play. I haven't heard too many good things about it, but the graphics on the back look amazing. So I'm going to try this out. I'm going to keep it regardless, just because it's a box Game Boy Advance game, and these are really hard to find now, so Shinobi's going to be in my collection for a while. So anyways, let's get it on the shelf, get it off the floor. Alright, so that is my Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color collection. Hopefully you enjoyed, and until next time, take care.